In the first episode of The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army was a human. The story begins with a young woman pulling a book from a shelf to read about Ike, a powerful magician who, despite being human, served in the Demon Lord's army. Ike, the esteemed son of Romberg, a master magician demon, leads the Undying Brigade. He confronts the leader of a human city with three choices: surrender, suicide, or escape. When the leader opts to fight, Ike easily overpowers him. Showing mercy, Ike spares the surrendering soldiers and instructs his subordinate Jiren to tend to their wounds. Reflecting on his past, Ike recalls Romberg, who adopted him and taught him advanced magic while cautioning him to conceal his human identity. Ike's barrier magic keeps intruders out of his room, but when a maid accidentally discovers his secret, she faints in panic. Guilt-ridden and uneasy with his role as a demon leader, Ike explains to Jiren that annihilating all humans in a city is impractical, as they are needed for taxes and trade. Ike is summoned to the Demon Lord's castle by his superior Chifiro. Nervous, he is the first brigade commander to receive this honor. Chifiro, aware of Ike's secret, reassures him. At the castle, a gate guard recognizes Ike as Romberg's grandson and allows him entry. Amazed by the castle's grandeur, Ike meets the Demon Lord, Dirokuten, who is revealed to be a woman. Intrigued by Ike's humility, a trait she attributes to his humanity, she praises him for sparing the people of Arsnam. Relieved that he is not punished, Ike suspects Dirokuten, like Romberg, knows ancient civilizations and has used this knowledge to transform the Demon Lord's army. Dirokuten acknowledges Ike's lineage and instructs him to reveal his true face next time they meet. Relieved that his human identity remains concealed, Ike receives a reward from Dirokuten and the task of protecting the frontline town while increasing its tax revenue. Accepting the challenge, Ike returns to the girl who discovered his secret. She introduces herself as Sati, a human slave, and Ike agrees to trust her on the condition that she becomes his maid, which she readily accepts. The townspeople approach Ike about taxes, and he confirms they will pay the usual amount. Faced with repairing the town's walls damaged in a previous battle, Ike sets a goal of completing the repairs in 1 month. He organizes both humans and demons into 8-hour shifts and pays them to boost morale. Jiren, impressed with Ike's leadership, believes Ike will become the next Demon Lord. The conflict between casters and demons rages on, with the demons maintaining the upper hand. However, humans are forming alliances with neighboring nations to alter the war's course. Dirokuten, the Demon Lord, assigns Ike the task of dealing with this emerging alliance. Meanwhile, Alistair, commander of the White Rose Knights, is summoned by Galrosha to retake Ivelios. In the city, Sadi becomes involved in a gambling game, exposes a cheater, and causes a commotion. Ike arrives, reprimands Sadie, and reminds her of their mission to scout the enemy. They discuss the Alliance of Kings, an ancient coalition formed 3 times in history to combat the Demon Lord's army, each time forcing them back to Doberberg Castle. Sadie worries about history repeating itself, but Ike reassures her that the current Demon Lord is the strongest and wisest and promises not to abandon her. During their mission, Ike and Sadie encounter a gambler with a thug. Ike uses his powers to freeze them and interrogates the gambler. Learning that Rosie Aisha's army plans to strike the Demon Lord's army before the Alliance does and intends to attack Ivelios. Back at their base, Ike and Sadie are met by Lilith, another demon who is jealous of Sadie. An argument breaks out, which Ike interrupts to refocus on their mission. The White Rose Knights launch an attack on Ivelios, but are ambushed by skeletons set by Ike, forcing them to retreat. However, Ike is struck by an arrow from behind but is saved by Sephiroth. After regaining consciousness, Ike talks to Chefiro, who informs him that no humans died during the battle. Grateful, Ike shares his vision of a future where humans and demons coexist peacefully. Sephiroth warns Ike to stay put for a while, reminding him of his human vulnerabilities. Ike then addresses the ongoing argument between Sati and Lilith, asking Jiran to find the current location of the White Rose Knights commander. Jiran reports that Alistair has been imprisoned for her failure after retreating. Determined to find answers, Ike decides to visit Alistair in prison with Lilith accompanying him. As they approach the prison, they are confronted by guards. Lilith engages the guards, allowing Ike to reach Alistair's cell. Inside, Ike questions Alistair about whether she sent an assassin to kill him during the last battle. Alistair, surprised by the question, asks if Ike is truly a demon, leaving the encounter on a tense note. Alistair, the White Rose Knights commander, confronts Ike, holding him at knife point and demanding to know if he is human. In response, Ike casts a spell to numb Alistair and the guard's senses. He then uses another spell to blow the guards out of the hall, ensuring their safety. When Alistair falls, Ike protects her and introduces himself as the commander of the Demon Lord's 7th Army Corps, the Undying Brigade. He asserts that it is impossible for him to be human, as he serves the Demon Lord. When he asks if Alistair sent an assassin to kill him, she remains silent. Ike uses a mind-reading spell to uncover the truth, and discovers that Alistair had no involvement in the assassination attempt. After this revelation, Ike and his companion Lilith depart, leaving Alistair with much to ponder. Returning home, Ike brings a gift of rice to Sadie and discusses his plan to expand their services in Avelius. He asks Sadie to cook the rice, believing in her culinary skills. Despite her initial uncertainty, Sadie agrees to figure out how to cook the rice, pleased by Ike's confidence in her. Suspecting a traitor within his ranks, Ike asks Jiran to assemble his army. Despite being hit by an arrow from the White Rose Knights, Ike is certain that Alistair had no part in the attack. He concludes that the assassin must be a spy within his own army. Using his mind-reading abilities, Ike identifies the traitor and teleports to confront him. Ike informs Saphiro that the spy is Jace, the second in command of the 7th Corps. Saphiro, having suspected Jace, vows to make him pay for his betrayal. Meanwhile, Jace learns about Ike and is surprised that Ike has recovered from his injuries. When informed that their spy in the Undying Brigade has vanished, Jace realizes they have been exposed and quickly mobilizes his forces. Jace taunts Ike about his previous injury, mocking him for coming alone. However, unknown to Jace, fire-based attacks orchestrated by Ike devastate the village and his army. Ike offers Jace a choice: surrender now or after losing everything. Instead of surrendering, Jace orders his troops to kill Ike and attempts to escape through a secret path. With the help of one of Ike's familiars, he tracks down Jace. Ike demands Jace's surrender, but Jace attacks him instead. Ike binds Jace to a tree, and Jace grudgingly admits Ike's exceptional talent. He proposes an alliance to overthrow the Demon Lord, claiming the current ruler is incompetent. Ike questions him about other traitors, but suddenly someone poisons Jace. Ike tries to cure him with an antidote spell, but it fails. In his final moments, Jace reveals the names of the true traitors. Saphiro informs the Demon Lord that the head of the 3rd Corps, Basteo, is the traitor. The Demon Lord, seeking clarification, asks Dullahan's thoughts about this.
Saphiro reveals that Basteo, the head of the 3rd Corps, is a traitor, and accuses him of planning to kill her and her deputy commander with Dairokuten. Dairokuten asks Basteo for his side of the story, to which Basteo responds by accusing Saphiro and her deputy of killing her deputy to frame him and take over the 3rd Corps. To resolve this matter, Dairokuten decides to hold a duel between the commanders using magical creatures called puppets. Each commander will lead 50 puppets, and the winner will be the one who can destroy all the enemy's puppets. The loser will die immediately. Saphiro appoints Ike, the skilled commander, as her substitute in the duel. Ike hesitates at first, feeling the heavy burden of being entrusted with Saphiro's life. He decides to focus on finding a way to win the duel. Ike and Jiran examine the puppets and their weapons, noticing that the puppets follow their commander's orders exactly and are all equal in strength, making the duel a true test of leadership abilities. Gyron marvels at the Demon Lord's generosity in allowing them to use the puppet's weapons as they please. Ike consults Sadie and asks her how she would fight in a hypothetical situation. Sadie suggests using a broom, but agrees that a weapon allowing long-range attacks is ideal. Ike thinks of swords, spears, and bows, but ultimately decides that something more powerful and unknown to the opponent is needed. He reveals that he can make guns more powerful and with longer range than bows, allowing attacks from hundreds of meters away. Ike talks to Sephiroth, who believes he can create anything. Sephiroth explains that she can't make something invisible. Ike describes the gun as an iron cylinder containing gunpowder that fires a bullet and asks Sephiroth to make it. Sephiroth initially refuses, but Ike is determined. Meanwhile, rumors spread that Ike will join the battle, and a confident Basteo wonders if Sephiroth is scared. Basteo possesses a sword made from black dragon fangs, capable of cutting anything. As preparations continue, the Demon Lord appears and surprises Ike by revealing that he has already prepared weapons for him. He explains that Romberg told him about Ike and that he knows he is human. The Demon Lord needs people to fight for him to fulfill his wish of creating a new world on this land. Ike agrees to help him. On the day of the duel, Basteo appears confident, boasting about her weapons made from Damascus steel that cannot be penetrated by spears or arrows. The battle begins, and Basteo's puppets attack Ike's shields. Initially defensive, Ike then uses cannons, surprising Basteo by destroying her puppets and defeating her. The Demon Lord appears and gives Basteo a choice: either kill herself and die honorably, or be killed by the Demon Lord. Suddenly, one of Basteo's men fires an arrow at the Demon Lord, who successfully deflects it, but it is followed by an explosion. Multiple explosions occur in the arena, and Bastio's army attacks everyone. Then Bastio declares his intention to become the new Demon Lord amidst the chaos. And that's all for this episode. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching.